So, welcome back to the Canada Specialist Program series. It's my pleasure to introduce your local Destination Ontario representative, Tilly. Tilly, who's going to take us on a quick whirlwind tour of Ontario. Tilly, over to you.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for the warm welcome. Please pop in the comments if there are any technical issues, but hopefully this should go smoothly. And yeah, we'll be answering any questions that you have at the end of the session. So I just wanted to play for you a quick video that we have first, which kind of just puts Ontario in the spotlight and showcases some of our beautiful scenery. Perfect. So before we kind of dive into the session, I just wanted to start with a couple of kind of pieces of background information on Ontario. So Ontario is the second largest province in Canada, and just to give you an idea of quite how big it is bigger than France and Spain combined. So a really vast province with so much going on. It's home to the capital city of Ottawa and also Canada's largest city, Toronto, and of course the iconic Niagara Falls. Now we're lucky enough to have over 250,000 lakes and rivers in Ontario. So it is appropriately named after the Indigenous word meaning land of shining waters. And just to touch on the fact that Ontario really is the perfect four-season destination. Whatever time of year people decide to visit, you will be greeted with beautiful scenery and unforgettable experiences. The spring is really when those beautiful blossoms come to life, and we have a really lovely tulip festival in Ottawa every spring. The summer is the perfect time for outdoor adventure, to get outdoors and explore all of the beautiful parks. And autumn is really where those fall colours come to life. As you can see there, it's a really magical time. And then in the winter, Ontario really does turn into a winter wonderland. The picture on the bottom right there is the Rideau Canal in Ottawa, which freezes over every year to become the world's largest ice skating rink, which is pretty special. So today we're just going to be focusing on the classic Ontario Circle route. Obviously, there is so much more to be covered, but we'll have to leave that for another exciting session. So starting off, of course, with Toronto, which is one of the most multicultural cities in the world. Over 50% of the population in Toronto have English as their second language, which has resulted in a really multicultural community, which is reflected in all of the culinary offerings and the unique eclectic neighborhoods. So there's great airlift into Toronto as well, from London, Manchester, Glasgow, and Edinburgh. So, just to dive a little bit deeper into some of those multicultural and eclectic neighborhoods, there is so many different neighborhoods to explore in Toronto. You'd really need to stay there for multiple days to be able to explore them all. But we have loads of different sites and iconic attractions in all of the neighborhoods. In terms of culinary experiences, the Michelin Guide in Toronto came out this year with 100 bars and restaurants featured, which is incredible and just recognizes the amazing culinary talent. And it also went beyond Toronto this year to kind of the wider region, which is amazing. The Toronto Islands is a collection of interconnected islands that you can easily reach by a ferry from the mainland, and is a really lovely day trip idea. You could cycle around all of the interconnected islands, or stop off at one of the beaches, which offer incredible views of the Toronto skyline. in terms of shopping, Toronto is really a shopping haven. It is Canada's answer to NYC in terms of kind of Christmas shopping opportunities. And it's home to the unique path system, which is an underground system of shops, bars, restaurants, all interconnected underground. We've got a huge array of arts and cultural attractions as well, such as the Royal Ontario Museum and some more family-friendly options. So the Ripley's Aquarium of Canada, the Hockey Hall of Fame, which is dedicated to the history of ice hockey. And there is also some bucket list experiences as well to be enjoyed, such as the Edge Walk, which you can see here, which is a really unique experience. And for those kind of adventure thrill seekers, um, clients that you have, then it is the perfect activity to suggest. And then just an hour and a half from Toronto is the beautiful and iconic Niagara Falls. Which is not just a day trip. There is so many great hotels in the area and so many more attractions beyond just the falls that we really would recommend spending a couple of days here. It's also known as the honeymoon capital of the world, so great for couples and families alike. So, of course, the falls itself is the main attraction, but there are a number of unique ways that you can experience the falls, whether that is on a boat voyage or a helicopter ride from above. There's even some zip lining experiences and a sky wheel if you are wanting to see it from a new perspective. A great pass which encompasses lots of different attractions in the Niagara Falls area is the Niagara Parks Commission Attractions Pass, which, as I said, it includes a kind of array of attractions which are really popular, such as Journey Behind the Falls. There's also a whirlpool experience, a White River Walk, and even a butterfly conservatory experience. And I wanted to also quickly touch on Niagara on the Lake, which is just 30 minutes from Niagara Falls, because it really is such a beautiful addition to any trip to Ontario. It is right in the heart of the Niagara wine region, so there's over 100 wineries here, which is definitely worth stopping off and having a wine tasting. The signature variety is the ice wine. And there's also a number of different restaurants that serve amazing farm to table food using the bounty of the region. And in terms of kind of the town itself, it is a really charming and picturesque 19th century town with some beautiful shops, historic landmarks, restaurants, boutique hotels and country inns to stay in. Not to mention, of course, the wine estates, and you can even get a horse-drawn carriage ride while you're in town. And there's a couple of different festivals and events going on throughout the year in Niagara on the Lake, so it really is worth adding on to your itinerary. And then moving on up to Blue Mountain, which is just a couple of hours from Toronto. It's the perfect all-season destination, and it is also Ontario's premier ski destination, as every winter it turns into a ski resort. There is an abundance of activities on offer at Blue Mountain, so it's perfect for families, adventurers. Some of these include some cave adventures, treetop trails, cycling trails, craft beer tours, and an amazing Scandinave spa to relax in after a long day of outdoor activities. And as I mentioned, the winter adventures are truly one of a kind as well. There's some kind of beginner and intermediate ski slopes. There's beautiful ice skating kind of through the forests and a Illumination walking trail as well. It's also a great place to base yourself to explore the wider Georgian Bay region, which is known for its rugged shorelines and incredible waters, which are perfect for kayaking, boating, and swimming. There's lots of history in the area as well. It is home to Sainte Marie among the Hurons, which is just packed full of history, which is really interesting to explore. And then moving on to Muskoka, which is just 3 hours from Toronto. It is known for its cottage country lifestyle. It's probably one of the more kind of prestigious areas in Ontario, and it's got some beautiful resorts, such as the JW Marriott property there, which overlooks the beautiful waters and is the perfect place to base yourself for lots of great kind of activities to do in the Muskoka region, from bistros to wineries to kayaking adventures and dog sledding in the winter. There is loads to see and do here. And Algonquin Provincial Park is a beautiful place to stop off on your circle tour as well, especially in the autumn. It really is just an explosion of fall colours and so beautiful. It's very much kind of away from the hustle and bustle of busy Toronto, and you really feel kind of immersed into the wilderness. It's a great spot to catch some wildlife. Um, and there's a couple of rustic lodges as well that you can stay in to really get that full kind of immersive nature experience. And yeah, there's thousands of lakes as well in the area, so another great place to do kayaking, paddleboarding, and lots more. And then we have Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada, of course, and it is a really kind of historic and rich in culture. You can really see kind of the French and the English cultures merge in a really beautiful way. It's also where the majority of the national museums and galleries are in Canada. So it's a great place to go if you're after arts and culture. Um, you can learn about the Indigenous experiences in Canada in these museums as well. And as I mentioned, the Rideau Canal is really beautiful. It freezes over every winter. And throughout the rest of the year, a really great way to kind of explore Ottawa is on a boat tour or a cycling tour. And then quickly just ending with Kingston, which is the final stop before going back to Toronto. Um, Kingston is again filled with kind of history and culture. It was the original capital of Canada and is known for its beautiful limestone architecture and historic sites. It's accessible by via rail as well. So if you'd like to do a rail tour, then it's a really lovely stop. And the Thousand Islands as well are really worth visiting, whether that's by a boat cruise or a helicopter tour. There's a few really unique ways of kind of seeing all the thousands of islands. And there's some beautiful accommodation options as well. Not to mention, as is a theme in Ontario, lots of outdoor adventure. And I'm just putting my contact details up on the screen in case anybody wanted to reach out with some more specific questions. But we are always on hand to help. And hopefully, you learnt something today in the short but sweet session. Thank you so
You
much.
took us on a lovely tour in 12 minutes, Tilly. Thank you so much.
We just about got there.
Yeah, no, that was great. Thank you.